Welcome to day 24 of the 300 Movie Challenge. Today we watched the highest grossing film of May 1996, which was Twister!
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, this was the movie that I had watched just randomly. Like, my grandparents were watching it when I was like 7, and I happened to walk into the room, and there were parts that I remembered, and seeing it now as an adult, it was not as scary as I thought it was when I was a kid.
I mean, the tornado, actually, roars like a lion. It's really goofy.
And like the water spouts, they scream like
I mean, it sounds like
children.
a flushing toilet when it at points too. It's just,
Yeah.
okay, I assume none of us have been in a tornado, right?
No.
Or
no.
anywhere near one, so we don't know what they
No.
sound like. But I don't think they sound like growling lions or flushing toilets.
No, I don't
So-
think so.
So
Alright, so where do we start with
I
this?
don't know.
Okay, well, I guess let's name the one good thing, which is that the effects in this movie, for the most part, were pretty good.
Most
Yeah,
of
the
effects-
tornadoes.
Yeah, the tornado looks good. Okay. There were two sets of explosions, basically.
Yeah.
The first one worked. The second one absolutely did not.
No.
It was like pasted over.
Yeah, it
the
literally
tornado.
looked like someone YouTube edited that explosion in. No, okay, so I've seen the Nostalgia Critic video for this, and he actually shows that scene, and he does a thing for it, and I thought he edited that explosion in on his end for a joke.
No.
I thought that explosion was legitimately not in the movie. And then when it was in the movie, I'm like, oh my god, that looks so bad. So, actually, speaking of that explosion, I'm actually surprised, at least in terms of the main cast, besides the father in the very beginning.
No one died.
No one
one
died
died.
except for that one explosion, and that was the
The
bad
bad guy.
evil corporate guy, because of course but who was a bad guy for some reason, because apparently you need a bad guy when tornadoes are around. But yeah, nobody died, which is kind of weird. I expected at least a few people to
Yeah,
die.
I expected more people to die.
Like,
but I
no one
guess-
died, and the truck survived. Like, the
Until the
big,
very end.
like the ones for all the other people.
Oh yeah.
Like,
the
even
truck,
though
the
they
truck that the
definitely-
main people were driving got destroyed 3 times.
yeah. And then the other people, even though none of the trucks looked like they were actually built to withstand the tornado in the first place
No.
either.
No.
You would think if you're tornado chasers and stuff that you would actually make your vehicles so that they would be able to go through the tornadoes and stuff.
Like military grade stuff.
Or they just be more careful in general, because they weren't careful
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah,
Oh.
the one part where they were parked right next to the electrical poles and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you think is going to happen?
And okay, so they say a couple times that tornadoes are really unpredictable, and it's okay, fine, that's true.
Yeah.
But then they seem to be able to figure out where it's going to go, and
Somehow.
it's going to turn, and it's how are the fuck are you supposed to know that? And it's just it's the science in this movie just seems they
Very-
just pick out whatever fact, quote unquote, that is useful to the plot, at that
Science?
moment.
What
But
science?
then that fact can be turned on its head in another 5 minutes or something.
Yeah, and then the tornado, the tornadoes themselves are inconsistent. The tornado picks up a train car, but then doesn't pick up their
The
truck
people.
right
Yeah.
next to it. And
No,
it's
or,
the
the
train cars.
people.
Yeah,
Or when the people were running and trying to find shelter in the farm and everything, and
it's
the tornado
ripping
was
up a
right
fence.
there.
And it's ripping up a fence. It literally takes the barn and throws it at him practically, and yet they're
Yeah.
fine. It's just
Yeah.
what? And then
That-
okay, the very end when because I know this is people have talked about this and how stupid it is, but the very end they survive this tornado that destroys a barn and lifts up trains and all this kind of shit. They survive that by strapping themselves to a pipe, a metal pipe sticking out of the ground, and I don't have a problem with the idea that the pipe would survive, because that would go like far underground, and like
Yeah.
they tell you
Yeah.
for like a lot of this kind of stuff, like earthquakes or tornadoes, that like I've heard the thing about like try to like go into like your bathtub and like put like a mattress over you or something,
Oh yeah.
because like that's the most sturdy part, because it's like most built into the foundation and like all the pipes and stuff going around you, right?
yeah.
So like that, okay, I'm fine with that, but the fact they were just like strapping themselves to it with like leather straps, but, like that they show were not even like tight around them at all.
Oh.
no.
Like, okay, that's the part that's bullshit. So
Also, another thing that annoyed me is the fact that all the animals in the movie kind of were just standing there and stuff, which
oh, yeah.
Animals are not dumb. They would know if a storm is coming because they're just like something seems wrong.
Or they'd like see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, okay, I'll give an example. So, something to discredit also a movie that we're thankfully not watching, Sharknado. There
Oh, yeah.
seems to be a report about the fact of what sharks actually do in tornadoes and everything, because there was a tornado that passed over an aquarium. And sharks did the very sensible thing and went to the bottom of the tank.
Right, because the whole thing with the tornado is like it has like it's kind of the reason it can like suck up the air or whatever is because it has like really low pressure.
Yeah.
So like, and that kind of translates into the water a little bit too. So like they would feel like, oh, the water pressure at the very like top of it is like really low, and that's weird, right?
Yeah.
So like, and that's a shark, right? A horse would just be like, I see a tornado, bye. Like, you know, it's just like, it's just dumb. Like, at least the horse did like run away, but like really late, and like somehow it
Yeah.
survived.
There were
but-
the chickens before and
Yeah,
the
the chicken-
cows.
Oh yeah, the cow.
Cows.
The cow was just like flying around in the thing. I'm like, oh my god.
During
And then
the water spout.
Another thing is like the inconsistency with like when it's sunny, cloudy.
Oh my
yeah,
god,
that
yeah.
was just random. Basically.
That bothered me so much.
It was just randomly sunny and then randomly cloudy again, depending on the shot. It was like, oh god. And then, oh yeah, and then even like they're talking about how it's night, and then they're like, oh, an F5 tornado is like forming or whatever. And this can't even be this shouldn't be like, you know, 4 a.m. or anything, because there's like they're at like a drive-in movie theater and there's people around, so it's probably like, you know, 10 or something p.m.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're like, oh, this F5 is forming, and then they don't do anything until the next day. And it's like, I don't think a
afternoon.
tornado takes like 12 hours to form.
No.
No, I don't think so either. Otherwise, people would have been like evacuated.
Right. Well, and conversely, like the tornado would like pass by them and then just vanish immediately.
Yeah. That's
It
like
wouldn't
how.
keep going at all.
Yeah, I mean, like I get that, you know, tornadoes just kind of dissipate, but like it, you know, it kind of peters out. It doesn't just. It's not just like, raw,
It's not
so much,
over.
so powerful, gone. You know, I don't think that
Yeah.
happens.
No.
especially
it's not over
especially for a really
immediately.
big one. So
It would have gone on for a little while.
right.
Yeah.
So
But apparently not.
and then okay, we haven't even talked about the characters like at all.
You've just talked about all the other parts of the movie.
But the characters are pretty much they're all like written as like they're written
years
like they're 8 years old,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're acted like they're 8 years old. In terms of like the writing, like what they actually say, the reactions, kind of like their quote unquote personalities. Okay, the freaking character drama is that like the main guy is like trying to get divorce papers from this woman so he can marry this other woman, but the woman he's like going to marry like doesn't even know about his job as
No.
like a tornado chaser person, and then
No.
she gets like upset after it, and it's like, you didn't talk about this?
Apparently not.
And then of course, so she like leaves like 80% of the way through, like, I can't do this. And then so of course he gets back together with the other woman who, you know, they didn't share any chemistry. If anything, they just argued with each other constantly the entire time and were really
Yeah.
obnoxious. So it's just like, ugh, stupid.
Almost everyone was obnoxious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the aunt, but the aunt was like there for 5 minutes.
She
or
was just like
something.
standard nice person. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the poor dog that replaced the woman.
The dog just every shot the dog was in, it just looked like so confused.
It's like, why am I here?
So, yeah, it's. Oh, and then we did mention that like, this soundtrack is like too epic.
Oh yeah.
It's
The
like
soundtrack
it
is
has
too
all like
good.
choir and like epic like orchestration with like some like rock stuff on top of it, and it's like, this isn't Lord of the Rings. Like, calm down.
Too good for this movie.
So yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is just. It's okay. It's not like you don't like hate yourself for watching it. At least I didn't. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
And at
Yes,
at
very-
points it's entertainingly dumb.
Yeah.
So-
Like the science is like non-existent.
Right.
here.
So
I guess we got a couple good laughs out of it.
yeah, I guess. I mean, it's not great. It's not, again, it's like in terms of a so bad it's good. It's like it's not that great for that.
No.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's just not very. It's not good.
It's better than Jumanji.
It's better than We
Oh,
all agree
yeah,
on that.
it's a bit better than Jumanji, just because again there are some like things that are kind of ridiculous, and again like the tornado effects, like for the most part, do look pretty neat.
You even mentioned when we were first like beginning to watch this movie and stuff that the opening credits were actually really well done for the movie.
Yeah,
too.
like the opening credits look kind of cool, and it's like, is this
Yeah.
a sign? Is this like the only good thing in the movie? And it wasn't the only good thing, but it wasn't too much better.
It was along the same line.
Yeah.
So, I had watched, well, not watched, I had been on the ride in Universal, and that was my only previous knowledge of this. Mine has watched the movie and been on the ride. And then Val, you had heard of it, right?
Yeah, and I'd seen the Dr. Critics thing about it.
Yeah.
So, like, the thing is, I kind of have a soft spot for disaster movies, just because, like, I like to see, like shit get destroyed, because I'm a, psychotic maniac. But, like, it's not even good as, like, a stupid disaster movie, because
No.
it's really, like, not that grand in terms of the scale.
No.
And
How did they see 5 tornadoes in like 48 hours?
Yeah.
One
It is
like
possible.
stepping up.
like, I
But
know,
stepping up in degrees?
yeah, that's the thing. It's like every tornado was like the first one's an F1, the second's an F2, the third's an F3. Like, it literally
So
just goes like that.
somehow the F1 was stronger than the F2 one, though.
Oh
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
the F1 picks up the truck, but the F2 doesn't. But whatever. So,
For some reason.
but yeah, but even as a disaster movie, because like, what is it? There's an earthquake one. I think it's called like magnitude 10.5 or something. It's like, it's really dumb, but like, but the thing is, like with this movie, the characters are obnoxious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With other movies like that earthquake one, and like 2012 is a good example. They're just like boring and like lame. They're not like annoying
Yeah.
characters, right?
It's true.
Well, they kind of are. Actually, 2012 was kind of annoying, but it's not that bad. So you're just kind of like, this is a dumb movie, but there's nothing in it that's like
Offensive.
that you're like,
Yeah.
this is really bad, right? So like, I kind of, I can appreciate that, and like I can think of for the earthquake thing, it's like something like magnitude 10.5 or something. And I remember there's like a thing at like Las Vegas, and like they're at like one of the big casinos, and like that like half fell over, but it's like not quite fallen over. It's like propped up against another building or something. And there's a whole thing of like trying to get out of that, and it's like, I don't know, it's kind of just neat in terms of set pieces and stuff like that. So I can appreciate like dumb stuff like that and enjoy it, but this is just, it's not, again, even as a dumb disaster movie, there's way better options.
Yeah.
So
Certainly.
like there's that super volcano one.
Oh my
Oh yeah,
god.
with Yellowstone, right?
Yeah, about Yellowstone. That one is, again, that
Ugh.
one's like decently enjoyable. And that one actually at least has characters that like are kind of decent.
Yeah,
So-
I remember watching that one.
Yeah, actually, it's
I
on,
did too.
It's on YouTube, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. That's how I first found it. And yeah, I remember the main scientist guy from that is like, actually, he's a decent, likable character. So it's like, anyway, there's better options even for dumb disaster movies, and I don't know. It's not good.
No.
Basically.
It's not good. Watch something else.
Skip it.
Yes, skip it.
Just skip
It may
it.
not be the worst movie that we've seen, but it's not one that you
No.
kind of
It's not shit tier,
no.
but
No.
it's bad tier.
Yeah.
So yeah.
At least.
So that's it for that.
Yep.
The next movie has a title that got Maya and Tara very excited, and then I'm like, no, that's not what it is. And then they're like, oh.
Oh
I
yeah.
devastated our hopes of it.
So since the title isn't what we thought it was, we don't know anything about it. So
We
No.
literally don't know anything
We're
about
going
it.
into it blind.
I remember seeing the title and I was like, oh my god, it's about this. And then Valen told me it wasn't about it, and I was very disappointed.
I don't even know what it could be about at this point.
I don't either. I kind of don't even want to look just to go in completely blind, but whatever. That's tomorrow.
Yep.
Yes.
So for now, goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Don't die in a tornado.
No.
Please don't.
Also, don't go under a bridge when a tornado happens. That's actually like a really bad idea, and for some reason it's kept getting spread as like an idea. But don't do it. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Because they do it in this movie too, and it's like, really? Oh my god.
Oh.
There's your public service announcement from us knowledgeable folks.
Who don't live in Tornado Alley at all.
Yeah.
No, not at all. I think if I remember correctly, if you're in your car, the safest thing to do is like go into a ditch.
Yeah. You
Right.
go into a ditch and you just hope for the best, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But,
bye.
bye.
Bye.